Computers, a brief history. Computers have been around since shortly after World War II. It's a little known fact, however, that they were actually introduced into the United States as part of a Cold War plot by the old Soviet Union to destroy us all. Very recently, documents have been declassified that show that the goal of the Soviets was to drive the entire population of America mad, or at least to get us so preoccupied that we wouldn't notice that our country was crumbling around us. The first computers were huge and extremely expensive, and because of the relative obscurity, the first generation of computers succeeded in driving only engineers and computer scientists insane. But no one even noticed, or really even cared for that matter. To achieve widespread insanity, computers had to be made available to the population in general. And so to achieve this, the Soviets introduced the personal computer in the late 1970s. The first personal computers were only marginally successful, and the major factor limiting their acceptance were the names that the Soviets chose for these machines. The first personal computer introduced was marketed as Forbidden Fruit. After this computer's name was changed to Orange, it became very successful. Another early computer was the Red Sickle. The Soviet overtones were very obvious, and so the name was simply abbreviated to TRS-80. Still another early naming fiasco was the Comrade PET. The name of this machine was also changed. It became known as the much more capitalistic Commander PET, and eventually that morphed into the Commander 64, one of the most successful computers ever introduced. Just ask your grandparents, and they will surely tell you about trying to learn to use the Commander 64. In the early 1980s, the Soviets coerced a very large computer manufacturer, most likely through bribery and blackmail, into introducing their own version of the personal computer. With this large company behind it, this machine found almost instantaneous acceptance in the business world, and this started the personal computer revolution. To ensure continued success, the KGB made the design of this personal computer available to companies all over the world, and the result was a huge propagation of copies or clones of this computer. Now, even with the Cold War over, the personal computer invasion cannot be stopped. They're everywhere, driving almost everybody insane. In 2011, the Soviet government issued a formal apology for this plot, but the damage was already done. Since the introduction of the personal computer, Americans have found them both addictive and irritating. Computers have proliferated rapidly, and now almost every desk in the country sports one of these horrible machines. Realizing the potential for controlling their own population with personal computers, the U.S. government has recently designed several programs with the goal of making computers available to everyone. Computer training classes are now mandatory for all children and most adults. The government has also succeeded in ensuring that all computers everywhere are connected so they can monitor their activity easily. The computer invasion is now nearly complete. Not only does every office desk display a computer, it seems like every home has at least 3 or 4. But to ensure saturation, computers have now been disguised as personal communication devices. Nearly everyone in the country carries a computer on their belt or in their purse or in their pocket. Never is anyone more than an arm's reach away from feeding their addiction. These wearable computers have names like MyPhone and Zombie. They've become addictive, so addictive that drivers plow into parked cars, and pedestrians fall off curbs because their eyes are glued to their computer screens, both large and small. In classrooms, students pass electronic notes constantly, and they post their every thought online. And more often than not, these thoughts that they're posting have little, if anything, to do with the subject that the teacher is trying to teach them about. The genie is out of the bottle, and now we're all addicted and entrapped. We cannot live even a few minutes without a computer, large or small. To ensure America's continued addiction and destruction, our newer adversaries have created apps to keep us from doing anything at all. No one, it seems, can keep from accessing In Your Face or TikTok for more than a few seconds. Thanks to computers, our productivity has declined, and so has our intelligence level. But like a virus that escapes a lab and infects the entire world, computers have made it back to their country of origin and beyond. And they are succeeding and destroying the entire human race. Regardless of the colors of the national flag we fly, they are a danger. The entire world is addicted, and society as we knew it is gone forever.